in a war where cameras are as dangerous as guns, the front line isn't just a battlefield, it's the streets, homes, and press rooms where journalists fight to reveal the truth. Among them was Hassam Shabbat, a young voice determined to expose the atrocities unfolding in Gaza. At just 23, he had already given up his university studies to document the conflict, his words and images cutting through the chaos. But on a fateful morning, his voice was silenced, targeted in what appears to be a drone strike by Israel. Shabbat's assassination was not an isolated event. On the same day, another journalist, Mansour of Palestine Today, was also killed. Their deaths marked the 207th and 208th journalists to be killed in Gaza since October 7th. These deaths aren't just numbers. They represent the systematic erasure of those who dared to report the horrors of war. Veteran journalist Dan Cohen, who has spent significant time in Gaza, described the experience of witnessing these deliberate attacks on the press. He recalled the terror of 2014 when he found himself amidst a bombing campaign targeting Gaza's skyline. Even back then, journalists faced unimaginable dangers, dodging airstrikes while documenting the destruction. Now the scale of violence has only intensified, with reporters openly wearing press vests being turned into direct targets rather than being shielded by their profession. The narrative spun by Israeli officials attempts to justify these killings by labeling journalists as Hamas operatives. A suspicious document surfaced in November 2024, allegedly proving that Shabbat and others were members of Hamas. However, this claim was never verified, and the evidence presented was grainy and dubious at best. The Israeli military has a long history of fabricating information, including a notorious case where a simple Arabic calendar was falsely labeled as a hostage guard schedule. For those who claim these killings are accidents, the precision of Israeli drone strikes suggests otherwise. Military conferences boast of technology so advanced it can distinguish a Nike symbol on a shoe, yet we are expected to believe they cannot tell a journalist from a combatant? This is not collateral damage, this is an extermination of voices that challenge the official narrative. Western media remains largely silent. CNN, Fox News, NBC, The New York Times all refuse to acknowledge the mass slaughter of journalists. Their silence is complicity. Meanwhile, protests in Israel itself demanding Netanyahu's resignation are also ignored by mainstream outlets. Why? Because acknowledging these truths would disrupt the carefully curated image of absolute righteousness painted by Israel's allies. The real question is, when will the world wake up? When will the free press take a stand and call out the war crimes being committed against their own? The murder of journalists is not just an attack on individuals, it is an attack on truth itself. And in a war where lies dictate life and death, truth-tellers are the most dangerous combatants of all. Will we let their voices be erased, or will we amplify their final words?